Good day and welcome to another edition of Citizens Movement Radio News. Today is Tuesday, 21 October 2025. I am Mnangagwa, ready to bring you the latest news and updates. Here are today's headlines on Citizens Movement Radio News. Mnangagwa is afraid of elections, says Mahere. ZANU-PF destroyed the best railway transport system in Southern Africa. Former MP says nothing to celebrate on a reintroduction of passenger trains. Chuma demands for justice for activists murdered in state custody. Now let's delve into the detailed stories. The former Mount Pleasant Member of Parliament, Honorable Mahere, has said Emmerson Mnangagwa is very much afraid of elections, hence his plot to push for postponement of 2028 general elections. Posting on his social platforms, Advocate Mahere said, the ZANU-PF annual conference resolution to extend Emmerson Mnangagwa's stay in power beyond 2028 is influenced by fear of polls. The opposition is convinced that Mnangagwa, who came to power via a coup in 2017, lost both the 2018 and 2023 presidential elections to Advocate Nelson Chamisa, but he rigged the polls. The former opposition MP for Lobengula Magwegwe, Honorable Eric Gono, has said there's nothing much to celebrate about the reintroduction of two passenger trains by National Railways of Zimbabwe, NRZ. Honorable Gono said Zimbabwe used to have the best railway transport system in Southern Africa, with the headquarters in Bulawayo, but ZANU-PF through mismanagement and corruption destroyed it. Let's hear Honorable Gono speaking.
There is nothing much to celebrate on the so-called reintroduction of long-distance trains by the National Railways of Zimbabwe. The reason being that they are reintroducing very old and ill-maintained infrastructure back into our transport system, just like they did with the Zupco a few years ago, where they just took dilapidated buses and renamed them Zupco. The National Railways of Zimbabwe was at one point the pride of Southern Africa, but the ZANU-PF regime ran down that institution to where it is now. The infrastructure is dilapidated, poor maintenance of the railway lines themselves. There is no modern trains. Advocate Nelson Chamisa came up with this idea in his 2020, 2018 and 2023 campaign when he was talking about bullet trains, modernization of the railway network, because there is no country that can operate and have a sustainable economy without a proper railway network, without proper transport system. But this, that which NRZ is doing is introducing a dilapidated infrastructure that is going to be even worse than it was because of the infrastructure that is very old and ill-maintained. So it's just a facade to say that they're going to have such a network up and running again. It will not happen. We need modern and modernized railway network and railway systems that are going to be sustainable and that are going to have an impact on the national economy. We can't talk of a train that is going to take 24 hours to arrive at a distance of 300 kilometers. It's pathetic.
Opposition official Stephen Sakosi Chuma has called for justice for opposition activist Hilary Tamangani, who died in state custody in 2019. Tamangani was brutally assaulted by the police in custody and succumbed to resultant injuries at Harare Remand Prison. Chuma, who was youth spokesperson at the time, said the state must account for Tamangani's murder and called for compensation for his family. Let's hear Chuma speaking.
Yes, it is now 6 years after the colors and gruesome murder of one of our opposition activists, Hilary Tamangani, who was killed in 2019 at the hands of police stationed at Harare Central Police Station. Tamangani was a vendor in Harare CBD was accused of plotting demonstrations, and the police took the law into their own hands and brutally assaulted Tamangan, and he eventually succumbed to the injuries from the assault when he was in custody at Harare remand prison. It is very saddening and unfortunate that the police denied Hillary an opportunity to access medication for reasons best known to them, and this worsened the situation, resulting in Tamangan dying of the injuries he sustained from the assault. Up to now, there's nothing that has been done. In a normal country, investigations were supposed to be carried out, and the police who beat up Tamangan to death were supposed to be arrested, because these people are known, because each day they report for duty. They fill in the forms which shows that who is on duty. So it's clear that the state is protecting murderers. It is clear that there's no rule of law in this country, because in a country with rule of law, the people who are responsible for his death were supposed to be arrested, and in other cases even to be removed from the police force. We also call for compensation to Tamangan's family, because this is a young man who left a son, and that son needs to be taken care of. And it's unfortunate that the state has not done anything towards that.
Popular opposition activist Madzibaba Shanduko was arrested last night by armed state security agents using cars with no number plates. During the arrest, the agents are said to have assaulted Madzibaba Shanduko's wife. At the current moment, Madzibaba is currently held at Harare Central Police Station. We will keep you updated on our WhatsApp channel and tomorrow's news bulletins. It has been almost a year since Emerson Mnangagwa launched a consultative committee to conduct hearings for Gukurahundi in Matabeleland regions. The hearings for now remain shrouded in secrecy as the media has been barred from the proceedings. Opposition senior official, who is also a victim of Gukurahundi, Senator Felix Mafasibanda, shared his sentiments about the ongoing process. He said,
"From onset, I, as one of the victims, did not believe what Mnangagwa was trying to do, did not believe what Mnangagwa was trying to coerce chiefs to take a criminal act to be civilian. Hence, for all along, I have not taken part in this honestly engineered by Mnangagwa to cleanse his image. It is a public relations and it won't go anywhere. I'm from Matabeleland. People did not support this exercise. Now they are being cheated to say if you come, you would rather get some benefits or allowances after coming in. So people who believed in Mnangagwa are not politicians. A perpetrator cannot pacify the victims of genocide. It is incumbent upon Zimbabweans to reject any machinations that are caused by the perpetrator to cleanse and pacify his standing. This exercise is just a waste of time, soiling chiefs that were also victims. In Matabeleland, this has been rejected entirely, and I wonder whether Mr. Mnangagwa will ever come up with recommendations, findings, because it has been a non-starter. We are so sorry that instead of pacification, closing the chapter. We are busy digging other very sorry state of affairs of tantamounting to cause disturbances once more. I don't think this is going to be fit.
Opposition women's leader Sitabile Molilo has said extending Emerson Mnangagwa's term of office is akin to extending suffering and poverty of women. Molilo said women are living in nervous conditions under Mnangagwa's administration with maternal deaths on the rise. Let's hear her speaking.
Good evening, listeners all over Zimbabwe. Good evening, everyone. It's quite a pity that there is so much talk about the extension of Emerson Mnangagwa's term of office, and really it's going to make sure that women will be at the receiving end, and women are the ones who are going to suffer more if that extension is actually made, because already in 2025 as women we are suffering. What more if we are given those is it 5 more years that they want? I mean, it's going to be torture for us women, and most of the time, you know, that women, they're the ones who dominate in the informal sector, and really things are not so good for women. And that term extension, it's not even fair to women, because the only thing that we thought was that at least when elections come in 2028, we'll see the change of we'll see this regime which is actually there going out and coming in of the new coming in of the Democrats who actually take people to a greater level in which women will be helped. But now, you know, it's more like where we are right now as women, we are so, you know, puzzled. We are just left speechless, because we are not for this 2030, and really the term extension for us is very catastrophic. And also you find that women are affected when it comes also to issues of health. You find that under this government there are so much maternal deaths, and everything is just upside down, and really we do not wish for this regime to keep on ruling us, and we just hope that we will have leaders that will actually work hand in glove with us, and also a new government who actually take care of women, because women, they are the ones who are at the center of the country, and if women are happy, then the country becomes happy itself. Thank you very much.
A constitutional law expert, Professor Lovemore Maduku, has slammed a ZANU-PF resolution to postpone elections as loudest noise by those benefiting from corruption under Emerson Mnangagwa tenure. Speaking in an interview with BBC Africa yesterday, Professor Maduku said the resolution has no justification at law except that it's being pushed by individuals who have no country at heart. He said it will be difficult to amend the two-term limit because even individuals within ZANU-PF are opposed to it. Let's hear him speaking.
Unfortunately, there's no way they can change that if the proposal, as far as we hear it, is to extend the term of office of the president, for the president to remain in office beyond the 5-year limit, which ends in 2028. There are certain things you can change in the Constitution and others you cannot change. And the term, the 5 years given in the Constitution, would apply to a person who has been elected for a given term, and that can only be done by the people themselves. So Parliament is out of it. The mistake they are having is that they think that Parliament can do anything, that Parliament can write anything into the Constitution or remove whatever they want from the Constitution. That is not how it works.
If they go to the people, can they get their wish to extend the president's term by that extra 2 years if the people give them the green light to do so?
They cannot do that. You only go back to the people through an election. You cannot go to the people to ask them anything else.
Can you go
People
with a referendum
participate in
with
elections,
specific questions?
No. A referendum doesn't exist for that purpose. If your idea is to say that you want a person who is president to remain in office, there's only one way of doing it. You call an election for that person to remain in office. In this case, they have to deal with the provisions that regulate when you end a term and when, in this case, the president is a two-term thing. They will have to amend provisions relating to those 2 terms, which they cannot without a referendum.
Are you then expecting someone to move to court to challenge this proposal by ZANU-PF?
It's premature to challenge it. It is a proposal. It is nothing. It is nothing, as we said. We can't say that when political parties meet, no matter how happy they are, how, whatever they do, we can't take their proposal. They said something when they met and they called them resolutions. There's nothing to take to court there. We will have to wait until they embark on a process. I'm talking about legally. But politically, it's for different politicians to say what do they read into those kind of utterances. This is a political party that is very good at, sending signals left, right, and center. So until they start a process which we'll say has legal consequences, then we'll start really saying, well, we can have a legal step. But what I know is that there will be elections, and there must be elections in 2028.
What justification is behind this proposal? Those who are pushing for it, championing for it, why are they saying that Zimbabwe needs this at this time?
The group of people who are pushing it, they are those persons that stand to benefit from the president remaining in office. They are not people who are saying that the country will benefit from the president remaining in office. Everyone knows that the country will benefit from a limit of terms to the president. Whoever is our president must serve a maximum of 2 terms. That is what will benefit this country. Any attempt to change that cannot be said to be done in the spirit of wanting to benefit the country. The political party itself is divided. It's not a position that is unanimous within their political party. So you always get, because they don't vote at their gatherings, they just make noise. And the loudest noise is the one that is then called a resolution.
The Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Torera Imoyo, yesterday swallowed his words and retracted his comments that one of the popular teacher trade unions, ATUS, is funded by the opposition. He retracted these comments during a speech in Kadoma yesterday. Meanwhile, ATU's President Obed Masaraure has said the union will not be cowed into submission when it comes to demanding improved working conditions for teachers. Let's hear Masaraure speaking.
So on Monday, the 20th of October, we managed to confront the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Torera Moyo, with regards to the statements that he issued on the 10th of October in Rwanda. He made some reckless utterances claiming that the union, the Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, is funded by opposition and its 100 members. When being challenged to respond to that, he quickly swallowed these words, explaining that he never said, he never meant to tarnish the image of ATUS. We had already instituted a process of suing the reckless minister, but since he has retracted his statements on a public platform and have captured him in video, we don't see the value of continuing to pursue that particular case. We understand the politicians are excitable characters. At times they utter serious nonsense out of excitement, but we are also glad that when he said the same nonsense in Rwanda, the teachers were quick to boo him, calling him to order. But now he keeps on insisting that the union ATUS should behave like other union. He cited leaders of PTUZ, leaders of ZIMTA as his friends. We just want to make it clear that our union has no intention to be a friend of the minister. We want to collaborate where our interests coincide. And we believe that when we are pushing for inclusive access to quality education, for labor justice for the teachers, these are issues that the minister should also be taking seriously. We also understand that he has urged us to work on hardship allowance for rural teachers. This is one thing that we have always done. We have submitted solid the policy proposals. In those policy proposals, we've been clear that we need 75% of basic salary as rural retention and attraction allowance to keep the best teachers in our rural schools. But the fighting will continue, and we want to advise our members that we are no longer pursuing the lawsuit because the minister is retracted.
Despite outcry from the public, Chinese mining companies continue to cause havoc and environmental degradation in areas they operate in. In Redcliffe, a Chinese mining company is reportedly mining gold next to Cactus Dam on the banks of Kwekwe River. There are fears by locals that the mining activities will cause siltation of the dam and water pollution. Let's take a look at our sports news. In a Castle Lager Premiership match played yesterday, Bikita Minerals thumped Herendals 3-0 to move out of relegation zone. The result leaves Harare Giants Dynamos facing a real prospect of relegation, and they are now third from bottom. There are 4 teams tied of 34 points with the Dynamos and only 3 games left before the season ends. In an English Premier League match played last night, Brentford won 2-0 away at West Ham to leave second from bottom. To conclude our citizens movement radio news, here are the headlines once more. Mnangagwa is afraid of elections, says Mahere. ZANU-PF destroyed the best railway transport system in Southern Africa. Former MP says nothing to celebrate on a reintroduction of passenger trains. Chuma demand for justice for activists murdered in state custody. That's all for tonight's news bulletin. Thank you for listening to CMR. Join us tomorrow for more news and updates. Until then, good night and stay informed.